You know, Howard Stern has always been one of those guys that's been on my radar for the longest time. I mean, if you guys don't know who he is, just a bit of a brief history. Howard Stern, for the longest time, has been a radio show talk host. And over 20 years ago, he used to be one of the most raunchiest, most inappropriate talk show hosts. And he would talk about things that probably he couldn't get away with now in today's day and age in 2022. But anyways, the reason why I'm talking about Howard Stern is because there has been a supposed leak that Howard Stern might be involved with the character of Doctor Doom, or at least Fantastic Four, or something along the lines. And it's not exactly what you think. Now, if you're thinking that he's been cast as Doctor Doom, I think you're mistaken. And honestly, I just don't see how Howard Stern can fit into the Marvel Studios spectrum. I mean, honestly, I don't think I can see him as a Doctor Doom character. I don't think I can actually see him as any kind of character in Marvel Studios movies. But anyways, guys, I'm here to talk about the Howard Stern leak that just recently came out, and this was actually posted a little earlier today, and I want to talk about it. If you're new to the channel, definitely be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. We talk about Marvel-related content, mainly Spider-Man, and of course Marvel Spider-Man 2. We've been hyping up that game on a, I guess, daily or weekly basis, and that's pretty much what I talk about. If you just like that kind of stuff, then definitely subscribe, because it definitely helps the channel. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over this. Now, this is actually coming from thedirect.com. And it says here, did Howard Stern just leak Marvel Studios' Doctor Doom plans? Well, let's go ahead and find out. And everything I'm about to read to you, take it with a grain of salt, even though a lot of the dialogue that you're about to witness here was actually recorded on Howard Stern's show. But anyways, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is expanding its roster of heroes and villains in Phase 4, with one of the highly anticipated characters being the Fantastic Four's Doctor Doom. The character initially served as the team's main villain, but this role grew beyond that as he was pushed to the forefront in several iconic stories such as Secret Wars, Doctor Strange, and Doctor Doom Triumphant and Torment. In the MCU, Doctor Doom is rumored to appear in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, with the villain having a minor role in the sequel. However, back in 2019, Legion creator Noah Hawley shared that he was working on a project centered around the Marvel villain, describing it as kind of a Cold War geopolitical movie that takes place in Latveria. I would actually like to see that, and honestly, I think a Disney Plus spin-off series of the Doctor Doom would actually be perfect before we even get a Black Panther Wakanda sequel or even a new Fantastic Four film, so that way we have more of a background idea about the Doctor Doom character. It is unknown how Doctor Doom will be introduced in the MCU, but an accidental slip-up from a variant actor may have revealed that a solo Doctor Doom is on the way. And this is Twitter user Washed Up Tweeter uncovered evidence that Howard Stern might be involved with a possible Doctor Doom project. During a commercial break on the Howard Stern show, Stern and his crew's mics were still left on, leading on to an intriguing conversation resolving around Doctor Doom. Knowing Howard Stern, I think this was kind of like a joke, because I was reading this article before I started recording this video. I think it might have been a joke. I mean, honestly, again, I stand by what I said at the very beginning of this video. I just don't see how Howard Stern would fit in all of this at all. So in the conversation that some believe to be a prank, Stern and his crew were discussing upcoming guests this fall, which then led to producer Gary Del Albate telling the former America's Got Talent judge that he's not going to talk to him much in the summer. So this is the dialogue here. If you want, you can definitely check it out. I'll actually zoom in for you to take a look. And if you want to pause, you can go ahead and pause, but I'm not going to read this because it's just a lot. There's actually a couple of these down the article here. So definitely take a pause if you want to take a look real quick. Anyways, moving on to the story. Now, Del Albate then revealed that Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige wanted to know if a certain schedule works for Stern. The radio host responded by saying that it works, but he admitted that they're going over the schedule with him. When co-host Robin Quivers asked if Stern will be working this summer, he appears to confirm that he'd be filming a Marvel Studios project involving Doctor Doom. And here again is the recorded dialogue right here between Monkey, Robin, and Murray, and of course Stern. So if you want to go ahead and take a pause on that, definitely take a look here. And now, when asked if he was excited about it, Stern shared that he already had spoken to Robert Downey Jr. to ask for techniques, acting techniques. I mean, Howard Stern has had a couple of guest celebrities on, his show, including Robert Downey Jr. So I'm pretty sure they're buddy-buddy. They're really close. So Twitter user Brickenbach Jackie transcribed the conversation above Stern and his crew. While this could be some prank from Stern, it's possible that the actor could be hired as himself to interview Dr. Doom about his life through a story inspired by books of Doom. In the Marvel Comics storyline, a Doombot recalls the life of Victor Von Doom to a female journalist, with topics that included his early childhood, his friendship with Reed Richards damaging his face in the experiment, and his eventual takeover of Latveria. Now, this is actually true. This is actually quite plausible, and I'll tell you why. Marvel Studios has had a history of having real-life public figures making appearances in their films. We've had references to like ads and stuff like that, and real-life figures actually appearing in movies. I mean, you even had Elon Musk make an appearance in the very first, I think the second Iron Man movie. And you've had other figures where Stan Lee was portraying a version of Hugh Hefner in that universe. So, I mean, those are some examples. It is possible that Howard Stern could actually make Doctor Doom well more known. You know, like because of who Howard Stern is, he can definitely help Doctor Doom get the word about him out there, about his life. So I can see this as plausible, and this is probably the only reason why Kevin Feige would need the assistance of real life celebrities, you know, just to put him in there. And in a way, it kind of works for Howard Stern because it kind of pushes his show out there to the public. A lot of people know who Howard Stern is. Specifically, I think, you know, America's Got Talent has actually brought him to even more fame, but that's pretty much it. So here are the comic panels right here. And I think this is of the journalist recording Doctor Doom. Unfortunately, the story ended with the interviewer being locked up in the dungeons of Latveria, with her not allowed to leave the premises. And the conversation starts here. I'm not going to play this for copyright reasons. Again, I don't want to risk that because technically the show is copyrighted, so I don't want to play it. But if you want, I will leave a link to this article with all of this information down in the description box below if you want to check it out. Will Marvel reveal Doctor Doom's solo project in SDCC? Howard Stern's latest spoiler mashup could be treated as a prank for some, but this could be the first solid hint that a Doctor Doom solo project could be on its way to the MCU. However, whether this ends up being a 6-episode Disney Plus series or a big screen entry in Phase 5 still remains to be seen. And actually, we're going to be finding that out very soon. And in fact, it's actually coming next month in July, San Diego Comic-Con at Hall H. It's going to be really exciting. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige has a boatload of information to give us. And we're going to be pretty much all set. So Stern's comments about Robert Downey Jr. for acting techniques is fitting, mainly because Iron Man actor was considered for the Doctor Doom role way back before the MCU started. While it's clear that Stern is not playing Victor Von Doom, his intention to call Downey could end up being MCU related, with his potentially inquiring about working with Marvel Studios. Meanwhile, Stern's involvement as a journalist interviewing Doctor Doom allows it to fit with the ongoing trend of heroes and villains being prominent figures in Phase 4, from Ms. Marvel's Adventure Con to Emily Blonsky's Abomination, serving as a guest competitor in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings tournament in Macau. It's reasonable to assume that the public is genuinely interested in these characters, and a trip to Latveria makes sense. There's a strong chance that Doctor Doom has been working in the shadows for a long time, and a comprehensive breakdown of his MCU story could be the best route to introduce how he operated during the Infinity Saga and in the early moments of Phase 4. This can give fans a chance to know more about Doctor Doom before his eventual clash with the Fantastic Four and more of Earth's mightiest heroes. So all of this is very plausible, and if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it really does make sense. I mean, Doctor Doom is kind of a character that does operate in the shadows, but then when he wants to make himself known, he definitely does a good job making himself known. He really knows how to make a hell of an entrance. And I cannot wait to see Marvel Studios' portrayal of Doctor Doom. This time, it's going to be a full fleshed out Doctor Doom, because the way we've seen him in the past movies, like the old 21st Century Fox movies and the one before that, Fox has done a horrific job with that character, especially in Fantastic Four. I did like him quite a bit in like the other version of the Fantastic Four, which is like the first movies that came out. Like, I'm talking about the first Fantastic Four and the sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Doctor Doom was more enjoyable in those films, but I feel like we've never gotten a fully fleshed out origin story on Doctor Doom, and I think Marvel Studios has the opportunity to do so by bringing a Disney Plus series of the character, because I would watch it. And of course, introducing him in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Just having him appear in different kinds of movies is the perfect way to do it, to make the character more fleshed out and be seen as an all-time kind of favorite villain, honestly. I mean, there are really good villains in the MCU, and I think they've gotten even better with the new Phase 4, and of course, leading into Phase 5, the villains are only going to keep getting better, because that was a major criticism during the MCU, that the villains were not even always great. And one thing that I want Marvel movies to stop doing is killing off the villains. I mean, only kill them off when they're for sure that they just want to kill them off and that they're never going to use that character again. That's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, you let me know your thoughts about Howard Stern's involvement with the MCU and, of course, Doctor Doom. Do you think he's going to be involved in any kind of capacity? Do you think he's going to be playing a character? Honestly, I'm going for him playing himself in the MCU. So you let me know your thoughts about all of this information down below. Comment down below with your best thoughts and theories. And once again, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so y'all don't miss anything. And I will see you all in the next comic panel.